Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Good morning.
Well, it's been a busy week here on Come On Mountain, guys. We have had a lot of guests. We had a White Rock homestead. And speaking of which, guys, congratulations to you guys. Y'all helped them get to 3K. And they are happy, 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 happy. And I'm happy, happy, happy. I appreciate y'all going over there, showing some love and support to White Rock. Great people, good friends of them. Matter of fact, the last time I seen them before they came to Come On Mountain, it was at Child's house doing the trust party.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, for everybody that don't know this couple right here, go ahead and introduce yourselves. Tell them who you are.
My name is Marcel.
And I'm Denise.
And It's All Grady.
It's all Grady, baby. Come on.
Heck yeah.
We met these guys about a year and a half ago, maybe? About a year? At least a year ago, for facts.
It's wasn't it 2 years ago?
Yeah, might have been 2 years ago.
We were talking about this yesterday. We haven't nailed down the exact date, but it's been like 2 years.
So for us, the YouTube thing started pretty much 2 years ago on Jeff's birthday.
Yeah.
Which was yesterday.
Which was yesterday. Yeah. And then from there, we just kept growing with the family and kept meeting people. And I think it was that following 4th of July is when we met.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so, yeah, almost 2 years. Wow.
It's been a while.
Time flies. Time flies. But we actually all came together again yesterday for Jeff and his birthday. And we had like 16 trucks and trailers, guys, to move Jeff across the mountain. It's like an old country song. We'll be coming around the mountain when we come. Man, we had a whole convoy yesterday. I actually had 2 trailers. I hooked up to my big 20-foot trailer, and also had Mike hook up my 10-foot trailer to his truck. First time that he's got to pull a trailer since he went swimming in his truck last year. So he was excited. He was happy. And we got out yesterday morning. Jeff's place that he's moving from is probably about an hour and 15 minutes from here. So we left at about 8 o'clock in the morning yesterday, and met him out there. And man, we thought it was going to be a long, hard day and everything else. We had so many people there, guys. It went so fast. We didn't even have enough stuff to fill up all the trailers. They drove a trailer, 4 hours?
Yep.
Something like that?
7.
7?
Well,
Didn't even use it, y'all.
didn't even use it. Well, we didn't actually drive. We drove an hour. It's almost an hour and a half, hour and 15 minutes just to get the trailer.
Yeah.
And then 4 hours here.
Yeah. And then never even put nothing on it.
Nothing on it. That's how many people were there to help.
Yeah. It was an absolutely amazing day seeing the community once again come together.
Yeah.
And you know, you get that many people together, guys, it don't matter how big the project is, it's easy. It's easy. Everybody has fun. We had some good groceries. We had some tacos and some meatballs and all kinds of goodies.
Lots of pies.
Yeah, lots of pies. I still got some blueberry and some cookies in the truck there that I'll probably get on today while I'm editing you guys a video of that day, actually. I don't think Jeff recorded at all. I'm going to touch base with him this morning, but I don't think he did. But I did record yesterday. So if he did not record and is not putting nothing out, then I'll probably go ahead and edit mine today and maybe get it out today or tomorrow, depending on how the YouTube gods fare with me. If everything works good, I can do it today. If not, it'll be out tomorrow. But yeah, you'll see. There was a ton of people, and then we had people there at his new place waiting on us when we got there.
Yeah.
Already working.
Yep.
Already working and got the chainsaws out and stuff. Jeff is getting very, very, very close to moving over to his new property. Really, the only holdup he's got right now is finding somebody to move his shed to house over there, and a couple other buildings, smaller buildings that he's got on his old place. Right now, he had a line on somebody that was going to help him out, but they haven't been returning his calls, so he's kind of regrouping. So speaking of which, if any of y'all are in the area and have like a roll-off trailer for that type of stuff, hit me up in the comments, because he's in need looking, and it'd be nice if we can figure out a way to get that done. I mean, I believe I could do it with my big trailer, but it would be a lot of work to get that thing jacked up high enough to do it, and then jack it up high enough to get it off, and then get it back down on the ground. It'd be a lot better if we just had one of those roll-off trailers where you can just kind of, you know, go type deals. But we're gonna get him moved one way or another. We're gonna get it moved. If I have to take Uber over there, and we'll pick one side up, block it up, pick the other side up, block it up. We'll make it happen. I've moved some things in my day. Got Eclipse behind the camera, guys. She got to have a play date with y'all's doggies.
Yeah, she's an amazing dog. We love being here. It's been great being able to come up here and wake up on Come On Mountain, y'all.
Yeah. Speaking of Come On Mountain, what y'all think about Come On Mountain for the first time?
Oh, man,
Love it.
it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
The sun is just coming this way right now, and it's a gorgeous view. Everything is just so peaceful here.
It is
I love it.
very peaceful.
Mm-hmm.
You feel like you're in the middle of nowhere when you're here, which you kind of are.
Very
You know?
serene here, and the landscape, even though a lot of it is trees and brush and stuff, it's just gorgeous, breathtaking.
Yeah.
And you scored because it's mostly flat.
Yes, it is flat.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
You found the only flat land in Arkansas.
Yeah. At least in this area.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, it worked out. I mean, it's only got a couple of dips, but for the most part, it's level, dips a little bit, and then it plateaus again. You know, so I don't know. It's perfect for building. I like it out here, and I also like this cool weather that we got going on right now.
It's gorgeous.
Nope. Nothing to complain about here.
Nope. And of course, old Domino, old lap
Come
dog
on.
right there, wanting to
Come on. He
get
is
all
so
the attention.
Sweet. He is so sweet. Dog. He's like, where's my stuff?
He already tried to load up. He's ready to go today.
Heck yeah.
He was gonna go home with us.
Their new doggy, doggy.
Doggo.
He's a little bit of a scaredy cat.
Yeah.
He's scared of Ryder. Ryder, they said Ryder's been bullying him. You know, because dogs like to get in Ryder's face, and Ryder don't do that. You know, Ryder's like,
Let
no,
him know.
give me my space. And so now he's scared to death of Ryder.
The rider knows it.
Yeah, so he was in the truck, and as soon as old Domino here seen the door open, he was like, let's go.
I'm going to.
Let's go on a road trip. I actually left Domino here in the tiny house yesterday for the first time, and he broke out because the pump door, I just got the foam board, as y'all seen in my videos right now, just so there's a little bit of insulation to keep the air and stuff in until the pump house itself gets finished. And I put baskets and all kinds of stuff up that I thought was going to stop him, you know, from going. Nope, he went right on through all of that. And and the funny thing was, when I got home, I'm looking everywhere for him because I seen the door was kind of pushed down, and he's in my bed. I done walked outside, called Mike, hey, is Domino down there? Where's Domino? And all this other stuff. I walk inside, and he's just staring at me on my bed. And he knows he's not allowed on my bed. I'm not one that likes dogs sleeping in the bed with me.
I'm invisible.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, I'm just going to ease on back here. Oh, you know, so it's kind of crazy. Didn't do no cooking. This is 2 guests in a row that's came out here that I have not cooked for, guys. I am slacking.
We ate
It's
good
okay,
though. We
yeah.
ate good late.
Yeah, we
ate
had
lot
a
of
late
stuff
lunch.
yesterday,
And these have been kind of spur of the moment type things
Yep.
that's happened. This hasn't really been a planned visit. You know, they was originally going to get an Airbnb, but there was no Airbnbs close. And I told them on their live chat, don't worry about an Airbnb if you can't get one. Come stay here. Because now that I moved out the cabin, I still have the loft area and a bed up there. And that bed's pretty comfortable.
oh
It is.
man,
It's a
it
Walmart
is.
bed, you know.
It's
And then
soft.
I bought one of the little egg things or whatever to put on top of that as well. That bed right there is what I bought when I first moved to this cabin, because I didn't have my big bed here yet, and I just wasn't going to do air mattresses and all that other stuff. So I went to Walmart and bought that whole little setup, and I was shocked
It's
at how
nice.
comfortable it
Yeah.
was. So
We
everybody
sleep
seems to
good.
like it.
Yep.
Air come on mountain.
Yeah. And
Heck
so yeah, they actually have been the first persons to stay in the cabin by themselves.
Heck yeah.
You know, it used to be me in the cabin too, you know, But now that I moved out here, this was the first guest that actually stayed in the cabin by themselves, like what it's going to be at some point.
It was
You
awesome,
know what I
you
mean?
guys.
I had the air conditioner kicking. We still have some amenities in there, even though I'm not in there no more. It's a little rough right now because I just moved out of there, and so it's kind of like when you're in the middle of moving. There's stuff everywhere, nothing's organized, all that type of stuff. So
I found the coffee pot, you guys, so we don't
yeah, they
all I
did
need.
find the coffee. I still got my makeshift kitchen in there. Actually, that's going to be my project today after I get done editing. I got to go in there. I got a video coming up, review. You guys have been telling me to reach out to some solar companies and all of that other stuff. Well, that has happened. And I got a very exciting thing coming up, which will be aired on this channel, matter of fact. So that'll probably be coming next week sometime. So I need to do that, and I need to just clean out the cabin. I need to get all the odd and end trash and all that stuff up, clean it, and just kind of get it back to normal. I hate clutter and messes and all that other stuff, and it's pretty messy right now. So
Moving does that.
yeah, it drives me insane. And also, both of my canopies wrapped around is full of stuff, and it's from moving, from pulling stuff out and all that, and then also the building, because with weather I like to try to keep my saws up underneath there just in case it rains on me or something like that. So I feel like I'm out of space, even though I just added more space. So I need to get that situated.
You build it and then you fill it.
Yeah, and then there's a need for more space.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I got plenty of flat land to build it. That's for sure. We did a little walk around yesterday. Took them down to the power line, showed them the view of what it's going to be once all this is cleared out and stuff down there. And showed them where the shop's going and the animals and all of that kind of stuff. She loves the goats. I think they're going to get goats. They're going to get goats. It's only a matter of
I'm
time.
working on it. I don't know. It's going to be a...
She got to work on me.
Yeah.
Goats are easy. Goats
They seem like
goats
it.
are one of the easiest animals that there is if you have their infrastructure right.
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 Like right now, that's a temporary infrastructure and it works. But I mean, they can get out. The good thing about goats is if they do get out, they stay in the area. You know, they'll just get out and eat.
Oh,
You
that's
know,
good.
and then basically you open it up. You know, give them some pellets and they'll follow you back in. They're not real difficult. But if you get your infrastructure right, they're simple. They're one of the most simplest animals that there is, in my opinion. That's why, you know, people do starter chickens and stuff like that. I've never been there. I always started with goats. In Florida, my homestead, I had goats before I had chickens. You know, it's just, I like goats. And they're workhorses. You know, you have an area, y'all seen back there, you know, that's overgrown and all of that. They will take care of all of that. They're
man,
they're
we have
living
a
bush
lot of
hogs, you know. So I would suggest get your infrastructure right and then get goats. And if you do it, matter of fact, I have some videos on Come On Homesteading of the setup that I had in Florida, and I never once had a goat get out in Florida. Never, not one time, ever.
We'll have to pick your brain a little bit more about it because I really do want some goats.
We get intimidated, mainly me, about animals. So when I get an opportunity to see a friend is doing it and he's like, you could just check it out, you could do this for real, then it makes me feel more confident too.
Yeah.
Right? Because I was even scared of chickens, but we got like...
Chickens are harder than goats,
we got a
in
lot
my
of them.
opinion, because chickens, it's just the way that they work. You know, it seems to be harder to feed them, water them, because you got all those little things you got to open. You know what I mean? It's more time consuming. If you get your infrastructure set up right with goats, you can feed and water goats in 5 minutes.
Right.
Right.
You know what I mean? And get bigger things. And the way that I had it set up in Florida, I actually had a big watering thing and then put a float in there and stuff, and where it would automatically water and stuff. So they always had water. I had all of their hay and feed and all that stuff right there on the corner. What I did in Florida was I used the corner of the fence. I left the poles long and did lean-tos off the corners of the fence that would lean over the fence on one direction and over on their direction as well. And then I could put their food troughs and everything there, and on the other side of the fence I could have their hay and their barrels with their feed and stuff like that. So literally I
Okay.
just go to the corner of the fence, scoop, throw hay in there, and they was done.
Right.
You know,
Yeah, to go
where
check
if
that
you're
out.
in a busy and you're in a hurry and you ain't got time to go hang out and play with them,
Right.
you could feed them in like 5 minutes and be done and move on about your day.
Yeah.
I want everything set up here like I had it in Florida because time, which
Yep.
these guys have heard me preach since they've been here about time, minutes and seconds. I try to automate as much as I can because if you're spending all of your time feeding and watering animals, well, then you're taking a lot of time that you could be doing other things on your homestead.
Yeah.
You know, so the more automation that you can do with it, the better.
Yeah.
And goats, another thing is easy with goats. Like I used to take little road trips, like 3 days or whatever. I'd put a deer feeder in my goat pen and put their goat feed in the deer feeder and set the timer
Okay.
and let the deer feeder feed them. And then I had the automatic waterer. So they was good to go.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, know what I mean? They was good
And
to go
that's-
until I got back.
That's helpful when you do gotta go somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Because your animals will make you hostage.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that's another word for homesteading is
Yeah,
hostage.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. But you could do that with like chickens and everything else. Anthony did that with his chickens. He's got the little 5-gallon bucket automatic feeder, like deer feeder or whatever, and he does it for snacks for his. You know, you'll set it wherever once a day or whatever to shoot out a little snack for his chickens and stuff. But if you needed to go for 2 or 3 days, I mean, you can't go for weeks, of course.
Right.
But if you needed to do like a little weekend trip or whatever, there is definitely ways that you can automate your animal situation to where they're good, healthy, safe, and all that while you're gone, and you don't have to worry about it.
Yep.
So, and with the power of technology, honestly, you could put cameras and everything else out there and check on them and make sure that the systems are working properly and everything else. So,
Yep.
you don't have to be hostage anymore.
We're hoping to get to that point. I want to build a barn on the property at some point where we can have our animals in one location, kind of centralized. Because I don't think we're going to do it real big homesteading wise. We're just going to keep some of the smaller ones. Well,
That's
okay,
what
so
they
I
all say.
I want a cow, but I
Yeah.
bustle.
So far, we got cows, goats,
Yeah.
chickens.
We started out no chickens, guys.
Yeah.
And then the property came with 4.
I want it
and
all.
then we
really.
had 100.
And a
So
giraffe.
I'm not sure exactly what
giraffe?
she means. Yeah, she wants a giraffe.
I want a giraffe. I actually said that, and I seen the fence to get one on the side of the road going to Fort Smith. They had a big pile of fence, and I'm needing the fence in the yard, so I was like, well, let me stop. It was 10-foot fence, chain link fence, and it wasn't a bad price on it, but I'm like, what am I gonna do with 10 foot? I said I always wanted a giraffe. You know.
True enough.
You may not want it to get big, but it gets big fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The way that works though is it just
homesteading now.
it just evolves.
Yeah.
You know, next thing you know, like me, I actually just met somebody yesterday or whatever where I might end up with some more different type of goats. I'm not gonna give it away yet, but
Fainting goats?
You never know what kind of
I'm
goat.
coming back. We gotta come visit.
but yeah, not too far from here, and they have too many and want to get rid of some, and so I might expand the premier one, and it might happen.
Heck yeah.
And that's kind of the way the homestead happens and grows. And next thing you know, you have a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, we try to control it, right? But there's no controlling it.
Yeah.
It's just, you're right. We evolve and it grows as we grow. And today we're scared of it, and tomorrow we're knee deep in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, they're resident professionals.
Exactly. Like we can talk chickens now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, me, I probably got more experience with goats than I do chickens. I mean, I know chickens, but not like Jeff or
Right.
you know what I mean. Nothing like that. I know how to keep them alive.
Yeah,
You know?
they're really easy to care for anyway, and they don't need a whole lot. So
Chickens, in my opinion, are just like any other animal, and I believe that all the animals are that way. It's infrastructure.
Yeah.
You get your infrastructure set up, they're easy. If
Yeah.
you don't have the right infrastructure, they're a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
Like the goats moving back there, once the fence started grounding out and stuff like that, it was impossible to keep them in there. They was out 2 times a day, and now since I moved them, they haven't gotten out yet. They're happy, they're good. And once I'm going to set my infrastructure up here exactly like I had in Florida. It worked flawlessly. It was a nice setup. It looked good. It functioned good and everything like that. So, hey, why try to reinvent the wheel?
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know
if it
what I mean?
works. Yeah.
But it costs a little bit because fencing right now is stupid
Yeah.
expensive. Stupid expensive.
That was one of our concerns, was the fencing and the infrastructure. But once you have it up, really, I mean, it's really just upkeep from there.
Yeah,
so.
once you got it, you got it. But
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you guys. If I didn't live in the mountains and on a big rock, I would already had fence up. That would have been one of the first things I did. My properties in Florida, that's always the first thing I did was put fence up,
Yeah.
you know, for the dogs and stuff like that. But I'm scared to death of the putting fence up out here just because I can't
Running
even
rocks.
put the Premier one in without banging it in because it's just rock on rock on rock. And I just know it's going to be a nightmare.
Yeah.
And it'll be worth it when it's done, but it's going to be a huge project just to get the post in the ground. Even though I have an auger and everything else, you ain't augering through rock.
Nope.
You know, it's not the way it works. So that's kind of why I've put it off as long as I have. But I just got the telephone poles from MT for the corner post and stuff like that. Winter's coming, and that's the best time to clear fence lanes and stuff like that. So it's coming, whether I want to or not, because I got to do it. And I know it's one of those things, as you do it, you'll get a system going and you'll learn little tricks and stuff, and the next one will be easier. And yeah, I just ain't ready. I'm not ready.
Dynamite.
Well, we look forward to it so we can get some tips from you on how you like to, set it up and stuff. But we'll check out the homestead in Florida because, man, that sounds like just smooth running.
Yeah, I was working full-time in Florida, full-time YouTube, full-time this, full-time IT, working for a college and everything like that. I mean, I didn't get home until almost dark, you know what I mean? So I didn't have a lot of time.
Right.
So it needed to be as efficient as possible. So my chicken coop, I built that. I never had one predator loss or nothing like that because I built Egg Quentin, the San Quentin of chicken coops. It was called Egg Quentin. And because I backed up to a swamp, right? So, you talk about predators, I had them.
Right.
Bears, alligators, you name it. Snakes, all that other stuff. And so everything needed to kind of be overkill. And the goat situation that I came up with and the chickens, all I had was ducks, chickens, and goats. I never got much further than that. I was only there like a year before I moved. And that's kind of the same scenario I want here. I had goats first. Chickens are coming probably in the next 2 weeks, I would say. And then I'd like some ducks. And then we'll move on from there.
That way you could try to keep them in a row.
Yep, you got to keep them in a row.
Well, it just goes to show you that even if you are, super busy with your life, that you can have animals if you can automate it for their care and they're taken care of. I mean, it's possible.
There's all kinds of stuff to automate stuff out there now. Even like with your chickens and stuff like that, you can get the automatic doors.
Yeah.
And stuff that's on timers and all of that open it up, and you can do automatic feeders, automatic waterers, you know what I mean? Anthony just did the automatic water with the IBC toad out there and stuff. You get 275 gallons of water with chickens and then get an automatic feeder or your chickens are good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We're not trying to homestead like the old days.
Yeah.
We're trying to enjoy it. Like, we tell people now we're going to homestead, and they're like, what? If they know about it, they're like, no, that sounds hard.
Well, when I tell people I'm off grid, they look at me crazy, and I'm like, being off grid does not mean you got to be uncomfortable.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm all about comfort, but yeah, I prefer to be out here in the middle of nowhere and try to, live off my own stuff. But that don't mean that I have to be uncomfortable and struggle every day of my life. I mean, inside that little tiny house right there is like a brand new little house.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's gorgeous.
I got a bed that vibrates, got hydraulics and all kinds of stuff, and I'm sitting out on top of a mountain running off a generator.
Yeah.
You don't have to be uncomfortable.
No.
We was off grid and air conditioned last night.
Yep.
It was sweet.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah.
And that air conditioner works pretty good for that space. I mean, it's not too bad. What is it, girl? Well, we already been on here 24 minutes. If y'all have not checked these guys out, it's all Grady. I will put their tag right there.
Somewhere.
So oh yeah, they're also building a big house, guys. If y'all don't know that.
Yeah.
Big house.
David came out and helped us.
Yeah.
It was freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did a keeping it real there with Mike. Riding out there, we put the trusses on one day out there with them. They thought it was going to take like a long time. Didn't take that long.
Very surprised how
5
quick
hours.
it went.
5 hours, and that's also with quite a few breaks.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's such a blessing to have family members like you guys come and help us with such a big project, and just to be able to, you know, communicate and information share and build together. You know, we're growing and learning, and it's amazing. I'm humbled to be a part of such a great community.
It makes his life so much better.
Yeah.
And happier and more fulfilling, and
Yeah.
you know, all of that. You know, if you're doing it by yourself, yeah, I believe I'd still like it, but it definitely wouldn't be the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I kind of like being out in the middle of nowhere, you know, to where when I pull onto my property, I feel like I'm the only person on the planet type thing is great. But I'm also a social person, so, you know, I need that socializing. So to have a nice, good community that you can depend on and stuff makes all the difference in the world. And I think that's what we're all searching for. I think that's how we kind of found each other.
Yep.
And, you know, we're wanting like-minded people that see things the way we see things and value community and friendships and all of that, you know. And I think that's kind of why we kind of gravitate towards each other.
I agree.
And why some stick and some don't. You know what I mean? Because if it ain't right, it ain't for me. You know what I mean? If you don't see it the way I see it, then to be honest with you, you really don't have a chance to really get to know me for me.
Right.
Because I left all of that before, because I had a lot of people around me that wasn't about other people. It was all about themselves. And I'm more about community than I am about myself. So. And I think we got a very good group of people, and I think it's growing. It's growing tremendously from what it started to where we're at now. I mean, yesterday proved it. Like 16 trucks and trailers and like
It was awesome,
30 people and stuff like on a Thursday.
When you guys came down to our place, it was the same thing. I mean, we didn't have to move anywhere, but so many people showed up. And at that point, we were overwhelmed. Seriously overwhelmed, and you can get very lonely and feel like you have to do this on your own, and then the whole family shows up and you're like, what?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it just blows your mind, and to be part of that is amazing, and we get excited every chance we get to.
Every time we get to come together and do something big, it
rejuvenates us.
It does. It's just rewarding, you guys. I can't explain it.
I agree 100%. And, you know, and we do little projects like that. Like we just had the big shed takedown.
Yeah.
That would have took me forever. And I mean, honestly, we did it in 2 days, 4-hour days. So 8 hours. We took that shed down, moved it to the mountain, and it was done. It would have been an overwhelming task for me to try to do that by myself. But when the family came together and stuff, you know what I mean? It was fun. It wasn't stressful. We had a good time. We laughed. We ate good. You know what I mean? Just had fun. Just like yesterday. That would have been a big task for Jeff to try to handle by himself. You know what I mean? And it was easy. I mean, we all just kind of jumped in, grabbed in, boom, unloading. I mean, we had a system, boom, back up, boom, drop, leave, boom, boom. Next thing you know, we unloaded all that stuff, all those trailers, honestly, guys, in about 20 minutes yesterday.
It was quick.
It was
It
fast.
took longer to move the vehicles back and forth
Yeah.
so we could unload it. And loading was the same way, really.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody was on point.
Yeah, it was. And that's just the way it is. Whenever you got a lot of people together, there's a lot of ideals, you know what I mean? Because, you know, you might have been thinking about this way, but then this person might walk up and say, hey, let's do this, and then it just makes sense, right? And then we do it. And so it worked out really, really well. And that's the cool thing about the community getting together. That's the reason why the Amish all have been doing it forever and ever, amen. You know what I mean? It just works. You don't have to have all the equipment and all this other stuff. You just got to have willing, good people that's willing to put in a good day's work, and you'd be surprised what you can accomplish.
Yep.
You know,
we can do it, but man, it is much better when we're not doing it alone.
Work smarter, not harder. Come on. All right, guys. Well, we've been on here for 30 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah. Like I said, check these guys out. Great people. Y'all will be seeing a lot more of them. They're about 4 hours away. They're not too much. It's a day trip if it want to be, because actually when I did their trusses, I went that morning and came back that night. So definitely a day trip. But yeah, we got to get back on here. They got to get back on the road. They still got about a 4 hour, 4.5 hour. Y'all got to drop the trailer off?
I might bail on dropping the trailer today. It's my birthday today.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Happy birthday.
Yeah,
Happy
there
birthday,
it is, man.
baby.
Thank you.
Everybody, happy birthday for their birthday. Go ahead and go over there and like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell and tell them, come on. Happy birthday, come on.
There you go.
Love every single one of y'all. As I always say, do something nice for somebody today, guys. It will definitely give you a whole lot more than it actually gives them. And take a small step towards your goals. Or a big one if you're feeling froggy now. Hey, don't be scared. Take that big step if you need to. But take a small step towards your goals, guys. As long as you're taking a small step every single day, one day you're going to wake up and say, hey, we got there. Come on. Love every single one of y'all. Have a great weekend.
Right on, guys.
And always, guys, always keep it real.